This is the Burt Locker. I am Burt Green. This is the MMA Burt Locker. Basically, I just like to talk about mixed martial arts, put down some terrible bets on UFC Vegas 101, and they were as advertised. So I'm going to be recapping UFC Vegas 101, and let's not forget UFC 311. And there's a good reason it's a very pivotal event for the UFC, and I will get into all of that and more. So let's get cracking. Starting off with the recap for UFC Vegas 101. First of all, I would like to go, let's start, the good news first. Good news first is that I was correct, that Kopylov is an absolute monster. If you didn't know Roman Kopylov, you do now. His striking, as I said, it's effortless. He's effortlessly good. He's got a fluidity to him. Look, Chris Curtis is a tough opponent, and we saw that. He's so difficult to take out. And it was a weird stoppage. Still goes down as a knockout TKO, so I'll take it, don't get me wrong, but it was a weird stoppage. Do I think it should have been stopped? Probably not. But did it make a difference to the result of the fight? Absolutely not. No. Kopylov, and also that one was fight of the night. One thing I generally do get correct is I do call fight of the night more often than not. When I say something's got absolute barn burner written all over it, those are the fights that really you want to tune into. I'm just saying, like most of the time when I check which one got fight of the night, it's usually the one that I've noted. And that's the good news, because the rest of my bet was pure chaos. Pure chaos. I took the odds on Al Hassan because he was a massive underdog, and it could have gone either way. Because Almeida got knocked down and then got back up, and Al Hassan got a little bit reckless and left an opening, and that left hook, man. If you want to see a vintage left hook counter, watch Almeida versus Abdulrazak Al Hassan at the weekend, because it flatlined him as well. I think he was still unconscious for quite a while. That one's going to. I bet he doesn't remember any part of that night. Michael Bisping always says that he doesn't remember most of that night against Dan Henderson. He got that one back though. I was there, and I enjoyed the hell out of that, because Bisping is just a legend. Shout out Michael Bisping. Fatima Klein, clearly as good as advertised. I knew that I'd missed something there. Clearly I'm out of the loop when it comes to the female, I want to say flyweights? I don't know. Dudakova was supposed to, she still probably has potential. Dudakova was supposed to be like the next big thing. But she was a massive underdog. I took the odds, obviously, as I always do. Stakes low, odds long, bets terrible. You know them, Marseille. Anyway, I didn't give any respect to Soriano. Fair play to him. He absolutely battered Medic. He hit with so much power. I thought Medic would have the power advantage in that one. And you know what? All you can go with is what you've seen beforehand. I've just seen Medic he's knocked out a lot of people. I've seen him do it. So, yeah, Soriano, nice work getting the doctor out of there. Not a doctor, probably. Like I said, not a real doctor. Don't let Uros Medic write you a prescription again. Ponzinibbio versus Harris, another phenomenal fight. It's the only fight that I think could have gotten fight of the night over Kopylov versus Chris Curtis, because it was just, at first, when they first started fighting, I thought that Harris was just going to get starched straight away. He's got weird power, does Harris. Weird power. Mackenzie Dern, what can I say? She looked fantastic. Her on the ground, she's on another level, and she showed that. Very good card, very good opener to the year. So let's take a look at UFC 311. I'm going to just do a quick preview. These are the fights that I'm looking forward to. The terrible bets will come later in the week. If you just do me a favor, just like and subscribe, then you'll get notifications when the terrible bets come in. They are terrible. I put them on for fun. It's kind of like an MMA scratch card, if you will, because you're talking thousands to one, and they're thousands to one for a reason. It's like doing a scratch card, but you get to watch some people punch each other in the face whilst you're doing it. And always put your accumulators in the comments. I love to see the ones that come off. Let me know of your successes. I love seeing gambling successes. Helps you chase those losses a little bit better. Anyway, fights I'm looking forward to on the 311 card. There's a lot of them. Tagir Ulanbekov, right? He's another Russian that's coming in. He looks like he's a killer. In fact, he looks like he's here to sniff glue and kick ass, and he's all out of glue. You know, he's just got that look about him. Ricky Tercios, the Night Stalker lookalike, he was on The Ultimate Fighter. He's drawn a tough fight against Sopaj, the Albanian, actually. So you've got the Albanian gangster against the Night Stalker. They could put that on a poster, couldn't they? Lovely stuff. No idea who's going to win that. Grant Dawson, I'm confident in. I like Grant Dawson. Whenever Grant Dawson is on, I will be watching him. He's a very complete fighter. Watch Grant Dawson. He's very, very good. The sky is the limit for him. But Diego Ferreira, look, he's not coming in to lose, right? He owns at least one gold-plated AK-47. You can tell that just by looking at it. I'm still backing Dawson all day in that one. Jailton Almeida is back. He stumbled after looking unbeatable. He's struggled against a couple of good wrestlers. You know, Curtis Blades put him away with some nasty shots. He's struggled lately. Sergey Spivak is not a good matchup for Almeida because he's an excellent grappler himself. If the odds are long, I'm probably taking Spivak in that one because Almeida feeds off the grappling advantage, but he's not a very big heavyweight, and the good grapplers, it seems, have been his undoing, and Sergey Spivak is a very competent grappler. But it's an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see if Almeida can get his way back into the win column. Bantamweight phenom Peyton Talbot is back against Raoni Barcelos. That's a very interesting fight. Very interesting fight. Because, look, Barcelos has been brought in to lose, but he isn't coming in to lose, right? He's got 8 knockouts on his record himself, amateur wrestling background. He's no slouch. However, Peyton Talbot is 9-0, undefeated for a reason. 7 knockouts, 1 submission, 1 decision. I like Peyton to get the knockout in that one. Odds aren't on the finish yet. So that's going to be in my Terrible Bets episode coming later on in the week. Like and subscribe so you get notified. All that good stuff. Kevin Holland takes on Renier de Ridder, the Dutch grappler who came over from ONE FC. De Ridder's a specialist, that's very clear. He's got 12 submissions on 18 wins. But he had his debut against Gerald Meerschart not too long ago. Now, Meerschart gave him a lot of trouble. GM3. GM3 is a phenomenal grappler himself. And actually, I think people underrate GM3 a little bit. So, you know, people saw him struggling against GM3 and said, oh, this guy's not that good. Actually, I think it's a case that GM3 is better than most people give him credit for. That being said, it wasn't an impressive debut for de Ridder. Did he get the submission in the end? Yes, but only because Meerschart gassed out. So Kevin Holland, he's probably a little bit more dangerous than Meerschart, but he's not going to gas out. He might gas out from talking too much. He loves to talk. They call him Big Mouth for a reason. But Kevin Holland is an extremely good grappler. He's a very good striker as well. I think on the feet, Holland is going to be a real problem here. I'm going to check what the odds are on this one. I think Holland is going to be difficult to submit. And look, there are levels to it. De Ridder could be that good. He could be on that level. But Holland is a very good grappler. But if he keeps it on the feet and every round does start on the feet, I think he's probably got a good chance. So depending on the odds, I'm probably going to take Kevin Holland in that one. Beneil Dariush gets Renato Moicano. That's a very, very interesting fight. Moicano has looked insanely good lately, but Dariush might be a step up in competition. Yeah, Dariush has he's got a way of making really, really good fighters look bang average. So Moicano could be the next to be the victim of that skill set. But it's an interesting one. It's very much Moicano's on the way up, Beneil's on the way down, and where are the levels? We'll get to see that. It's an interesting one to bet on. Do you bet on the guy who's got the momentum, or do you bet on the guy who's got slightly more credibility and has probably faced better competition and is arguably skill-wise better? I don't know. That's a really, really tough puzzle, that one. Murad Valashvili against Umar Nurmagomedov is the fight I'll be looking at after I've looked at Jiri Prochaska versus Jamal Hill. I think I glossed over that mistake pretty well there. Jiri versus Jamal Hill. It's probably going to be fight of the night. You've got one of the most unorthodox stand-up strikers in Jiri Prochaska. He does nothing correctly, but that's what he kind of does well. That's what he does best, right? You don't know where those punches and kicks are coming from. He's so unorthodox, and it works for him. And he's very good. He's got brilliant power. He has got a good chin. How much of his chin has been taken by Alex Pereira, though? Because he used to be able to just walk through strikes and then keep going. And Jamal Hill, on the flip side, he's not spectacular. He doesn't look like he's hitting hard, but Jamal Hill hits different, right? I know that I know that people don't like Jamal Hill because he's come out talking loads of stuff about Pereira. He's looked like a bit of a sore loser in that respect, but do not let that fool you into thinking he's to be looked past. He isn't. Jamal Hill hits different. He's got a kind of fluidity similar to Roman Kopylov. Actually, he's got fluidity in his boxing. He hits very fast because he's not overly muscled, but he hits with a power. You see, when he hits people, they react. When he hit Ovince St. Preux, you saw Ovince just be like, "What the hell was that that's hitting me?" And I think that's going to be a big problem for Jiri Prochazka. I think that Jamal Hill is going to knock him out. Jiri Prochazka's chin is usually there to be hit. You don't want to test your chin against Jamal Hill. I am telling you, that's a bad idea. Could be a bad night. Insane matchup though. Insane fun. Fight of the night all day for me. Muradvashvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. This is a very, very interesting fight. Umar Nurmagomedov is unbeaten. Obviously, he is the cousin of the other famous Nurmagomedov. Muradvashvili, he's the machine, man. He does a whole fight. He does a 25-minute, 5-round fight before every fight. That's how good his cardio is. His cardio he uses as a weapon. Does he mostly get decisions? Yes, but his activity level is insane. And it's brilliant to watch because it's so difficult to keep that pace for that long. Umar Nurmagomedov, look, the thing is, right, this is like the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Because Umar Nurmagomedov, I can't imagine anybody beating him because he's unbeaten, right? But he usually beats people by smothering them with wrestling and ground and pound and then the submission. I cannot imagine anybody dominating Muradvashvili in the wrestling. It's a conundrum. It really is. I have no idea who's going to win this one. I imagine Muradvashvili is going to be the underdog. So that's where my money will probably go, because I think that this one is a coin toss, if I'm completely honest. We'll only know after they've meet. We can speculate all day. And after the fact, if Umar destroys him, anyone can say, yeah, well, obviously that was going to happen. You didn't know. You have no idea what's going to. That's why this matchup is so interesting, because look, if Merab grinds out and outpaces him for 25 minutes and gets a decision, some people will say, well, that was obvious. That was obviously going to happen, because people are very good at calling fights after they've happened. I've noticed that, especially in comment sections. People are real good at making predictions after the fights have happened. MMA is so notoriously difficult to predict. Then you've got the main event, Islam Makhachev against Arman Tsarukyan 2. This is a rematch. The first one, Islam Makhachev won by decision. This is one of the most interesting challenges we've seen for Islam Makhachev because it's been coming for some time. The first fight was he's arguably given Islam Makhachev the toughest fight. The last fight is actually the one against Dustin. Islam didn't have it all his own way there, but Tsarukyan might be the most complete fighter that Islam Makhachev has faced. Tsarukyan's gotten better. He has. Tsarukyan, he's just such a complete fighter. His kickboxing is top class. His wrestling is unbelievable. His cardio, his conditioning, he is first team all body. There is literally there is nothing about Arman Tsarukyan that is average. He's elite in every category. Islam Makhachev might be better though, because Islam Makhachev's Islam Makhachev. He's probably the pound for pound best. He might be the best to ever do it. He's Khabib, but better. Look, I much prefer him to Khabib. Like Khabib, he was very stoic. Makhachev's got a real kind of dry sense of humor, and he's got a real spark to him, which I really, really enjoy. So I can't remember who it was. Someone described him as tell you what, it was Lady V on the Dan Hardy podcast, Dan Hardy's wife. She nailed this, right? She said that out of the Ninja Turtles, like Khabib is Leonardo, serious, super Raphael, super serious, and Islam Makhachev is Michelangelo. Just he's the party guy. He has a bit of fun with it. You see him when he's talking with DC on podcasts, calling him fat. He's a funny guy, man. Like when you see him I've seen him on far more podcasts lately, and I've really enjoyed kind of getting to know Makhachev a little bit more. And not only is he completely dominant, his skill set speaks for itself, but he's actually very fun. And I enjoy that. This is a real test. This is going to be the one, if he gets past it, he could be cruising to beating all of Khabib's records and could very well go down as the greatest lightweight of all time. Arman Sarukin is not going there to lose. And do you know what? His skill set, it presents real problems. I think the odds are going to be longest on Arman Sarukin, so that's probably where my money will go. But God, man, again, this is another one. Who knows? Who knows, man? Like, this is the one where you can't. It's difficult to take a sure thing on Islam Makhachev because this is so far away from a sure thing, so far away. And that, my friends, is why UFC 311 is so damn interesting. This is the first numbered event of the year, and they're kicking it off in absolute style with this. It's brilliant matchmaking. The main event, co-main, brilliant matchmaking. Fight of the night for me, Drew Prochaska, Jamal Hill. I'll be doing some terrible bets later on this week. Like and subscribe so that you can see the terrible bets dropping. Keep the odds long. The bet's terrible. See you next time.